So Simone, welcome back from Barcelona.
Thank you.
I understood you had a very successful presentation around making a professional video on a small budget.
But on a small budget, exactly. Everybody today wants to make a video. I mean, everybody knows that communicating with a video is more powerful, and they don't want to spend a large amount of money to produce a lot of videos, within your organization and things like that. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today on the first episode of The Learning Show.
So Simone, can you give us a bit more insight of what you covered in this workshop?
So first of all, the conference was called FCOM, and is the SAP kickoff meeting, the sales kickoff meeting for Europe, Middle East and Africa. So it's a more or less 5,000 people conference. And the pre-sale team for this region, they asked me to present on how to make a video with a budget, because I mean, as Allos, we do a lot of professional video, and they asked me, can you do it with a budget? And I said, yes, if you use similar techniques in a budget, you can really do good video. And that's exactly what I've done. What they didn't tell me at the beginning is that I had only 20 minutes to do the presentation, to do an exercise on stage with a real recording with cheap tools, then to edit and show people the final result in 20 minutes. So it was really tough. At the end, I had 4 minutes to record on stage somebody, do the editing, and then show everybody the final result. It was a rush.
Okay, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now I'm just curious. Let's look at a clip of this workshop.
3. Audio quality is more important than video. And 4. Remember.
Okay, and believe it or not, we're done. Let's see the final result.
Hi, my name is Mark, and today I will give you 4 tips for a professional video on a budget. 1. Use makeup to reduce reflections. 2. The background must be far and lit. 3. Audio quality is more important than video. And 4. Remember the rule of thirds. Enjoy shooting in quality.
Wow, Simone, that looks like a lot of energy.
Yeah, that was great. But I mean, they have a fantastic team there, and I have to thank everybody from the pre-sale team of SEP. They've been fantastic, from Elle to Matteo, Angelique. Lorraine has done a great job organizing everything, and Mark, that was on stage with me, helping, because we have done a practical exercise with Mark there on stage.
So you did a live recording whilst presenting this?
Absolutely. So the way it works is I explain what we're going to cover today during the episode. And then Mark joined me on stage, and then we have 2 people from the audience to hold in the lights to explain the technique that we use today. And I used a simple iPhone to record him with a technique that we will explain. And then I did the editing and everything and published it. So it was really cool.
So Simone, what are we covering today?
Okay, let's have a list of what you're going to learn today during this episode. So, of course, we're going to cover the gear.
We're going to cover setting up a stage.
And then makeup, that is usually forgotten but is important.
Audio, and this is very important. We're going to show you good audio versus good video.
And then we cover the lights, the importance of the lights.
We're going to cover the script and acting.
And we're going to give you a few more tips in order to help you create really great videos on a budget.
Perfect. Let's start by defining what a professional video is. Simone.
Yeah, let's see an example with a fantastic presenter. Hi, my name is Simone, and you must probably have a goal or a target. As a matter of fact, you might have a few. One of these could be increase sales, cut costs, gain more market share, save lives, reduce pollution, boost performance, speed up production, ensure quality, or maybe reduce injuries, or many more. And unless all you do is to invest in the stock market, chances are that you will need people to achieve these goals. That's where we can help. We are Allos, the people's performance company. Okay, besides the presenter being what it is, but what we learned from here? The skin was uniform and well lit, but what about the framing? We had him not in the dead center.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
We'll discuss it a bit later on. Rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will see it just a little bit later. Let's see another example of somebody prettier.
Well, let's see what some of those artists can do. A successful training initiative starts with its plan, and it's exactly at this critical juncture that Allos shows its value.
Okay, Andres, I think that everybody wants to look this good. I mean, not just as pretty as her, but I mean in terms of how you look in camera. To have this kind of quality, do we need very expensive gear necessarily?
Simone, if you want to shoot like a Hollywood feature, yes, you're going to need something like this.
Okay.
But if you're doing corporate video or you're a YouTube blogger, anything that goes on the web, you're going to have a smaller 720p video.
Yeah, which is like half HD is more than enough. So any consumer camera can really...
Even your iPhone.
Yeah, like this. All right, so first things first, let's start from the stage. How do we set up the stage?
What you see here is a professional setup we did for a project for a major bank in South Africa.
Yeah, on this project, this is sales training. Imagine that after this video training has been delivered to the sales force, that this bank doubled the number of credit cards that they sold. And this should make you think about what is the impact of the video that you're doing, what is the impact on the business or whatever the final result that you want to have. That's why we want to take an example of whatever we see in this professional setup and what we can learn that we can reproduce on a budget.
First of all, let's consider the position of the microphone. Very important, you want your microphone as close as possible to your speaker's mouth or the actor's mouth without being in the shot. Secondly, monitor your audio. Very, very, very important. While you're recording, listen if your audio level is too high or too low. If you do not do this, you're going to have trouble in post-production if you have all of a sudden no audio.
Yeah, and the last thing that you want is to find out in post-production and then you need to re-record everything.
Yes.
So talking about we said earlier with a cheap device it's difficult to have a very good audio. Is it possible to have a really good audio? We have a video to describe this. All right, so this is the microphones test. In this moment I'm recording with an iPhone. You are watching me through an iPhone. And the audio that you hear is from the built-in microphone of the iPhone, which is not professional. To test the difference, I have here a lapel mic that is connected to a professional recorder, which is a Zoom H4n. There's various brands that you can choose from. Now, the difference between the two is the following. This is a microphone one. Sorry, this is the internal microphone of the iPhone. This is the H4n. Again, this is the iPhone audio, and this is the audio from the professional recorder. As you can see, there's a major difference. Okay, this is a bit of an investment, but there's another option, which we'll show you just now.
Clearly, the iPhone mic is not the best. And this is the same kind of audio quality you're going to get from any consumer camera. But we have a trick to show you how to make it better.
All right, so the second trick is to use a headset like this one. And at the moment you are hearing from this, in fact you just heard that I tapped it. Of course it doesn't look good here, but you can use tricks like this one. So this is the original headset that comes with the smartphone. What do? I'm not going to do it now because this is mine, I'm not going to chop it. But you basically cut it here and you cut it here. And basically you have a lapel mic here that you can paint in black with a marker, or you can buy it black directly. And then you can stick it with a little pin like this one everywhere you want. And let's see how it sounds. I'm still recording with the H4n, so let's see the difference between the two now. This is a recording with the headsets, and this is the recording with the professional microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can hear, it's still slightly better, but it's a huge improvement compared to the built-in microphone of the iPhone or smartphone or whatever you're using. Okay, so during that clip I said that I was not going to chop the headphones, but actually I found an old pair around, finding out later on that was my wife's one, sorry Steph. So I did cut it. So this is how it looks like. So as you see, it's very neat, looks like a professional one. It's got a decent quality microphone here, but most of all, as Andrew said, it's going to be very close to your subject and therefore it's going to capture a lot of the sound. So you have a good signal with very little noise. Give it a try.
So now that we've covered audio, let's speak about the lights.
Yeah, lights are very important. So here in the studio we have very huge lights. Instead, typically at home, you have a very small source of light. So why a video lead with big lights looks better?
The most important thing to remember about light is your light source needs to be big in relation to your model.
Exactly. So it doesn't so if you have a big light and you put it far away, it doesn't help. It needs to be big, close to the subject. And to explain this to you, we have our little model here, Mr. Spohn, who's a very cool dude.
Yes.
Okay. And now Andres will show you in a separate clip how, if you have, actually we have other tools here. We have, to make the light bigger, we have a torch. We have a simple torch, so we talk about cheap equipment. So if we have a small torch, we put it further away, it's like your typical household light or even office light. So to make it bigger, we're going to use a white umbrella. This is a photographer umbrella. This is like $20 or 18 euros or 200 Rand, whatever you want to call it. And of course, if we have the light very small like this, it's not going to help. So Anders will show you when you make the light bigger compared to the subject, yes, how it will change compared to Spohn. Let's have a look.
What we want to show here is that with a small source of light, in this case only the torch, you have a sharp shadow on the background, and Spohn's features are quite sharp, which is not necessarily what you want in a professional video.
Yeah, unless you are shooting a horror movie.
Now see what happens when I make the light source bigger. Basically, I'm diffusing the torchlight with the umbrella. You'll notice now that the shadow is slowly disappearing. And also, you can see on Spohn's face, his features are much softer.
Well, as far as soft can go when we talk about Spohn.
So Simone, now that we've covered the light, let's talk about the background. What is important about having a background?
Yeah, people forget about the background. If you look at any scene, even in the news, actually the subject is very small compared to the background. People will see the background. They will see what you have in the background. So the only two things you need to remember to have a professional background in budget is to keep it far away from you as much as possible and to have it lit. So don't only light yourself or whoever you're shooting, but also the background. And to explain this, we have another video. Okay, Andy, so this is not our typical configuration of lights. We modified a little bit for this example. Okay, yes. So what are we going to show here?
First of all, let's talk about depth of field.
Okay, let's start with the final goal. The final goal is to have the subject detached from the background, isolated, because otherwise it blends too much. Now, if you see, we have a camera there. Let's see what the camera is seeing at the moment. As you can see, everything is more or less in focus, so everything looks in the same level.
Yes.
So what can we do to detach the subject?
We can do one of two things, Simone. A, we can move the background farther away from the subject. And B, we can change our aperture on our lens.
So if you have a professional camera, you can have a lower number of aperture.
Yes.
Or if you have an iPhone or you have a cheaper camera, you can always shoot with the background further away from the subject. So let's try it. I'm going to move now the background. See what happens on the other camera. As you can see now, Spohn is much more isolated, it pops out, and the background is much more blurred. So if you're in an office environment, choose a big room where you have something at the back. Now, let's talk about the light in the background. How must the background be lit?
The light, it's important to remember to balance your exposure. So you don't want a super bright background or a super dark background.
Exactly, so they must be balanced out.
Yes. Yeah. Also, another thing to remember is be aware of how close your subject is to your background, because you can have shadows.
Exactly, but we'll see an example later when we talk about lights.
Correct.
Actually.
Correct.
Okay, so if I remove now this box, we have a dark background there on our green screen. Okay, so I'll put it down. As you can see now, it's not a very interesting scene. If we switch on this light now, we pointed the light to the green background. See how everything changes. There we go. You have already, and you can of course change the intensity, moving the light. And wow, sorry. And so in this way, you can make it much more interesting. Of course, don't do it against a window with the light shining in, because that will create flare and all kinds of other problems.
It will leave you with a silhouette rather than someone's pretty face.
Exactly.
Or in this case, Spohn's not so pretty face. Another trick: do whatever you can. It doesn't matter what it is, to make your subject comfortable and look good. As long as you don't see the trick on camera. Andres, this is one that is a bit of a surprise, maybe for most, especially guys. They have a problem with makeup. When we talk about makeup in video, we don't mean lipsticks and
beauty makeup like ladies do. Makeup is a technical powder that we use to avoid having shine on our skin. So if you have your lights having any kind of reflection on your skin is going to give away that is an amatorial product.
Yes, but Simone, can you even notice I have makeup on?
No, in fact, I didn't know you had makeup on. Yeah. So what you have to do, go to a makeup shop and ask for translucent powder. It's not going to change the color of your skin. It's not going to be visible because the job of that powder is to make your skin look matte, so not shiny and not be visible. We have a clip to show you that. One of the things that make a presenter look professional, besides the lights, camera, and all those things, and the posture, is makeup. And I know that some guys are not comfortable with makeup, but really what it is a transparent powder that will remove shine from your skin. So now I don't have anything on, and as you can see on my nose and forehead, there are reflections from the lights. And now we have our makeup artist, Zennery. Hello, Zennery.
Hello.
And she will put some of this transparent powder and we see the difference. There we go. So can you see the difference? The reflection is not just as much, and that's all it takes.
So guys, really try this out. You'll see a great improvement on your videos.
Definitely, absolutely. And then I want to talk about the scripting and how you act in studio. So if you have to present something, you might have noticed that the video bloggers and people that you see on YouTube, they look so professional and they have a special cut that they look like they know everything. No, they don't. They have a trick and nobody tells you about this trick. Now we will today tell you how the bloggers do their video. And we have a video for that, right?
Yeah, let's see how it works.
For the purpose of this demo, we have a boom mic and a Zoom H4n, but we can have any other combination of gear that we explained in the other video. And an easy way to read a script, or actually to act a script on camera if you are on your own, is to write a script like this one. Now, I just wrote this one, and I'll show you how I do it. I didn't even prepare on it, and then I'll show you the final result, how it's going to look professional, even if you have to read it. So we want, personally, I don't like to have either my clients or myself or my colleagues to read on a prompter, because you can see, unless you are a professional, you can see that you're reading on a prompter. So I'd rather read a little line, a small piece of text that I know the context, so I know how to say it. I say it in camera, then I take my time to read the second one. And then we combine everything together. You'll see how it looks like. Let's start. Good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Good day, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. And then my second line is, I'd like to introduce you to Allos today. I'd like to introduce you to Allos today. And then my third line is, in the shortest time possible. In the shortest time possible. At Allos, we do essentially two things. At Allos, we do essentially two things. As you can see, I have a pause and I look in camera. I leave 1 second before I start talking and then another second before I look down again. Typically, when somebody else is acting, to prevent them to keep on going up and down, I like to put it on the side on a stool or something like that. So they are forced to look there and then turn and look in camera. But I'm used to this technique, so I'll do it here. So now you've seen how I do it. Now let's see the final result. Good day, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'd like to introduce you to Allos today, in the shortest time possible. At Allos, we do essentially two things. Human capital development with success factors, as you can see from the logo behind. We cover everything from licensing to implementation, from consulting services to support and training. The second thing that we do is digital content. What is digital content? Digital content is basically everything that goes from e-learning to corporate TV to change management and communication. I mean, today we are bombarded, everybody, our colleagues, our clients, who are bombarded from Hollywood, the super graphic and MTV videos and all of that. And now we want our people to be engaged when we communicate with them with PDF. All right, now you saw the final product. One other important thing to say is that you can take your time and repeat as many times as you want, because you can put it together afterwards, of course. Another trick is that I know which part of the video will be close up and which one's going to be wide angle, because I alternate bold and not bold in the text. So when I read one part, I know if I have a lot of field or if it's going to be a close up, and so I need to watch directly in camera. Thanks for watching.
And finally, let's look at a few extra tips that will make your life easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is, if you have to compromise between a not so good video or a not so good audio, which one would you compromise and which one would you instead give it more attention? Let's see this video.
Blended Learning looks at delivering training via the classroom and online in a cohesive and holistic manner. Blended Learning looks at delivering training via the classroom and online in a cohesive and holistic manner.
It is pretty clear, isn't it? Never compromise on audio.
No, absolutely. In fact, if you're recording on your own, or even if you're recording somebody else, listen to the footage after you record it. You want to be sure that it is good, because if the actor or the presenter is gone, then it's really a big problem.
Well, it's going to cost you money at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Remember I mentioned the rule of thirds earlier?
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important. If you noticed, when TV presenters, they are very rarely in the center of the screen. And there's a reason for that, because aesthetically, we don't want to have something in the dead center. It's not an interesting picture.
Yeah,
so how do we do it?
Very boring.
Exactly.
I mentioned earlier the rule of thirds, Simone. So let's look at this picture over here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful picture of Cindy, one of our models. Hi, Cindy, she's in Miami at the moment. And besides the framing, we make it square just to prove a point. And we divided the screen into 9 exact blocks. And basically, there are 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. Yes. So where do we position the subject?
We always want to have our subject in 2/3 of the screen. In this example, you'll see on the left 2/3, it runs, the line will run right through the middle of her face. Also, you notice that her eyes is on the line of the top third. This attracts your eye then to her eyes.
Okay, and then mark the floor is another trick, because if you shoot more than one time with the same subject, or you want to have more than one episode, you want to have the lights in the same position, etc. So as you can see from the picture here, not only mark the floor with tape, but also with the marker, write all the data.
Yes.
You usually, when you do your jobs, you write all the information.
I want all my camera information, my shot information. Aperture. I want to see the aperture, I want to see the exposure, I want to see the ISO, I want to see the focal length. Yes, I have to do that, because 5 minutes later you forget.
Soundproofing. In this picture you see professional soundproofing foam in our studio, but you can do it exactly the same thing with everything that you have at home.
Yes.
Blankets,
a curtain,
clothes,
anything that really breaks the sound wave.
Yeah, you just try it without all this soundproofing material. You will hear a huge difference.
This is very important. Always review your footage immediately.
I think we stress it for video, for audio, for many reasons. Yeah. Don't let your presenter or yourself to finish shooting until you finish reviewing what you have shot, and be sure that it's final and you have it. And back it up.
Always use a slate.
Yeah, that's a simple trick. As you can see on video, there's many apps. In the description we will add a few links to apps that you can pay or they are free, and they help you have track of all the data information, the number and sequence of the scenes, because you might have to reshoot some scenes, and then if you don't know what the files are, you need to listen to the whole clip to know what it is. This will save you a lot of time in post-production.
So this was quite a long episode, and Simone, you did this in 20 minutes in Barcelona?
Yeah, actually, I've done in 20 minutes the whole exercise with the help of Mark, but after that we had another 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, we did a practical exercise with the audience from the public.
And that's 500 people in the room.
Yeah, they all did the exercise. So how it works is what I did also on stage. We had one person with a cell phone and taking a picture on the screen of the script and basically reading the script with the technique that we saw earlier. Then we had a second person with another smartphone used as a camera, and then 2 people with the light of the cell phone doing basically the 2 lights from the front on the subject. And of course they had to choose to have a further away background and all of that. So it was amazing. Actually, let's have a look at a clip of how it was. Okay, so as you could see, there was a lot of energy and it was really an amazing experience. And thanks again to the team for this great experience. So we are at the end of our episode, and thank you everybody for following this quite long episode. I hope it's been useful. If you liked it, please subscribe so you know when we come out with a new episode. And if you found it useful, share it with everybody.
In fact, if you liked it, click the like button.
Yeah, you do that. Okay, see you next time.
Cheers, people.